So let's not talk about politics. Let's talk about preparedness today. In a previous video, I had mentioned the rules of three. A lot of actual real preppers know what the rules of three are. Some of you out there may not know what the rules of three are. And I'm just here to bring some awareness to it. Preppers have gotten kind of a negative light over the years as mostly being tinfoil hat, conspiracy theorists, anti-government, or afraid of aliens abducting them, probing their butthole, which doesn't make sense. If they're such an intelligent life form, you'd think they'd have a. I can't think that they'd just go around the galaxy sticking stuff in people's butts. It just doesn't make sense. Anyways, that's for another video, I guess. There are some of those in the prepping community. It's not all anti-government, but I mean, who really trusts their government? I mean, I don't even trust my teeth. They'll bite my tongue. It's more of self-reliance than anything. It's about being prepared for things that you don't know could happen down the road. Black swan events, Yellowstone supervolcano exploding, covering, the entire United States in ash, blocking out the sun, stuff like that. It's just about being prepared. It's about being, how do I want to say it? Pro living through that scenario and not having to go out and do degenerate stuff to survive, not losing humanity. It's about retaining humanity and human values. What got me out of the tactical thing whenever I was first into the prepping universe like 2 decades ago, I was the tactical prepper, and I give those guys a lot of shit because when you first start off, you usually do start in that direction. I shouldn't give them too much shit. It's the guys that stay just tactical preppers that I should give shit to because I mean we all start off there. I'll hump my way through and stuff like that. And I've given my reasons why that scenario doesn't work at all. I've actually made videos on it or a video on it. Anyways, when you get down to the rules of three and you follow these rules of three, you'll actually start to become more and more and more prepared. Get further and further and further in, and it can be done relatively cheap, and it can be done weekly, every couple weeks. You don't have to go out here and spend a fortune right off the bat. And you can start covering these rules of three. You have to pick your scenario and what you're prepping for. Are you prepping for a black swan? Are you prepping for nuclear war? Are you prepping for civil unrest? You have to pick what you think is the worst scenario that could happen, that you can survive through, that you can prep for and survive. Some people think that nuclear war is not survivable. Some people think that, Yellowstone supervolcano is not survivable. Probably not for like 1,400 square miles around it. It's probably not. But with the right prepping out here on the East Coast where I'm at, well, I shouldn't say I'm on the coast. I'm close to it. But out here on the east side of the US, it actually could be survivable if you have the right equipment, the right gear. So what are the rules of three? There's 4 basic rules of three. And like I said, if you follow these 4 basic rules of three, it's not like, I don't know, I don't want to say it's not concrete, but it's pretty well, you can't survive without these rules. Like, you have to have these rules of three in order to survive. First one being 3 minutes. You can't survive 3 minutes without breathable oxygen. You will be rendered unconscious and dead. That's it. It's pretty simple, 3 minutes. Someone might get on there and say, well, there's this case where somebody did this or did that. You know what? Let's just go with the rules of three. Let's not make it hard. Let's keep it simple. The KISS method. 3 minutes without breathable oxygen, you're toast. So how do I prep for that? Okay. Can you go to Walmart? Okay, check. You can go to Walmart. Can you go back to the, paint section, the hardware section? Pick up a box of N95s. Check. I think $10, $11, something like that for a pack of N95s. Put them in the glove box of your car, your bug out bag, whatever. Do that a couple of times, a couple of weeks, whatever. You're covered. You've got breathable oxygen. We're not talking about chemical warfare, anything like that. We're just talking about particulates in the air that you don't want to breathe. N95 mask has it covered. Second rule of three, 3 hours in extreme temperatures, extreme elements, 3 hours. -10. You need more than a hoodie and flip flops to get through that. 3 hours. 3 hours in severe elements, you're not going to be here. You need shelter, good clothing. Severe heat, same thing. You got to have shade, you got to have shelter to get out of the sun so it don't bake you like a piece of bacon. You'll end up shriveled up like a worm on a hot sidewalk. That's the extreme heat side. You have to prep for that scenario. Do you have a way to keep cool air moving? Do you have lighter clothing for that? A way to stay hydrated, which segues into the 3 days. Person cannot survive 3 days without water. Do you have a fresh water source? Do you have a way to filter that water? Now, that's another cheap alternative way to go. There's a cheap way to go about acquiring that. You can buy something as cheap as like a little life straw. They're a little 6-inch straw with a filter inside of it. They're, yay big around, don't take up much room. Filters 1,000 gallons. You can put it in a fresh water source and it'll filter out the particulates. Like I said, we're not talking about chemical attacks or anything like that. This is just, you need fresh water. You can cover up to 1,000 gallons with one of them little life straws. They're like $9 or $10, $11. Buy one a week for a little while to get yourself started. Work your way up to like a Brita water pitcher. They're good for like so many thousands of gallons. Then maybe a Berkey or home make your own Berkey with 2 5-gallon buckets and filters. Those are just scenarios where you can keep yourself in fresh water. So now you got your 3 days of water covered. Last but not least, on the rules of three, you cannot survive more than 3 weeks without food. You have to have food within 3 weeks. This is where you get into the, oh, I'll just hunt my way through. Well, so is, 98.3% of the population. They're going to hunt their way through it too, and 36 million deer ain't going to last that long. So, do you have 3 weeks worth of food? Can you feed yourself for 3 weeks? No. If you can't, you're unprepared. I recommend the August and Farm 48-hour meal kits. At the time when I first started buying them, they were like $25 a piece. I think they've made their way up to like $32 or $34 for a 48-hour bucket. Start buying one of those a week. Or you can start buying like the 2-serving Mountain House, which they're good too. I actually like the Mountain House little double or single serving meal kit you can get. Just add boiling water. It tells you on the back for how long. You stir it up, reseal it, let it sit, open it up, stir it up, reseal it. Takes all in all like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you have a meal right there. As long as you got clean hot water, you've got food. And they're like $9 or $10 a piece. Buy one or two of them. You're talking, you can start down the preparedness road for minimal money, 10, 15, $20 a week. And you can actually get yourself into a shit hits the fan scenario, which eliminates the need for a Mad Max situation. Other than that, it's pretty simple. If you're preparing for, I don't know, let's say your worst case scenario is aliens invading and you don't want to have to go outside ever again until they're all done away with and whatever. It really doesn't matter. If you follow the rules of three and you prepare a little at a time, you get a week longer in and a week longer in and a week longer in. Well, what's the difference between you preparing for that and me preparing for societal collapse? Nothing. We're both prepared, and you're not going to try to come after my stuff. It doesn't really matter what you prepare for. Just follow the rules of three. 3 minutes without breathable air. 3 hours in the elements. 3 days without water. 3 weeks without food. You're not going to be here. And as long as you keep that in mind and you prepare for those things, and each time you do it, you get a little further in, that's a lot longer. You don't have to worry about relying on anyone else except for yourself and the people around you. And that's why I think the fundamental preparedness is that right there. And everybody, I think, starts at the tactical phase where they acquire the coolest rifle and the coolest sidearm and the coolest knife or coolest gear. I think everybody starts there. Just some of us evolve from that stage of prepping and we go on to beans, band-aids, like because okay, after you get your food, your water, your mask, your gear, well, now you need medical treatment. Because if you're going to be out here and think you're going to be some Rambo and in gun battles and everything else, you have to think that you're going to get wounded sometime. You're going to get a cut on your leg. You're going to need medical supplies, and then you're going to start down that path. Each path leads to another path when it comes to the preparedness. And that's where you start getting into your mags, your mutual assisted group. It's mutually minded people. And then you start having people with different backgrounds. You'll have, you might have a veteran over here that is really good at security. And then you've got this guy over here that's a really, really good farmer. He's got a green thumb. He can grow food anywhere. You got this guy that's a mechanic. Then you got this guy that's a medical professional, like knows how to do medical stuff. And each person brings their unique purpose in. All of you together. That's where I'll get into like the lone wolf thing. Lone wolfing doesn't work either. Being a lone wolf, I'll just go ahead and get into it. I mean, I've met so many people that in the prepping community, they they're gonna lone wolf it. They got their inch bag. I'm never coming home. That's what inch bag means for those of you that's not in the prepping community. You gotta sleep sometime, sir. Are you gonna be the farmer, the homesteader, the security guy? Who's watching your back when you take a nap? You gotta sleep sometime. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna be stressed out. Paranoia is gonna set in. You're gonna make a mistake. Lone wolfing, it's not realistic. It's not a realistic expectation. It doesn't work. Lone wolf preppers that are tactical, oh, I'm going to have, MREs. I'm going to take this thing on alone. I'm going to be like Denzel Washington in the Book of Eli. No, no, you're not. That's a movie. Real life scenarios. Like after days of being awake, your body literally says, I'm done. 36 hours. I'm done. I'm shutting down. I can no longer function. Doesn't matter how much water and food you put into it. Mind altering chemicals will go with that. You're shutting down. You're going to sleep. And you're going to sleep for as long as your body intends for you to. So you're not going to see a group of bad guys sneak up on you and unalive you and take your stuff. You don't have anybody to watch your back for people stalking you. Lone wolfing does not work. There's no scenario where a lone wolf makes it. Lone wolves will be they might lone wolf it for a day or two until they get into find a group. And I'm not saying like, oh, this person out here that it's a prepper that, maybe they're young and they're starting off and they're like, oh, I don't have anybody. Well, and a lot of people don't know. Well, as you get into the group, you'll find that there's people probably around you that are in it. They just don't say it because of the negative light we're casted in. Oh, you're some crazy conspiracy theorist. No, no, no. I just want to make it. I don't want to rely on anyone else. Anyways, lone wolfing just doesn't pan out the way they think it is. It's like, oh, I'm going to be Rambo. I'm going to go out here and jump out of trees and stab hogs. And, I'm just going to be a nomad. I'm going to walk around being a nomad, take on the world, just me, myself, and my rifle. And I'm going to forage from the forest floor. And yeah, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. I hate to burst your bubble. It's not possible. It might work for a few weeks, might work for a few days. You got this dream in your mind. You're going to go through all these gun battles and, go from house to house until you go to a house that has a mag or Burma's set up and you walk right into a funnel of somebody wanting you where they want you and then it doesn't work. You take a shot in the leg, a shot in the foot, a shot in the arm. Who's going to help you bandage up? Like, oh, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to tourniquet up. No, you're not. You'll probably pass out from blood loss, get infected, toast. Something stupid, something that's simple in that situation. You could trip, fall over something, fall off a rock cliff, break your leg. No one's there to help you. There's so many scenarios that a little cut on your arm could turn septic in that situation, and you have no one to help. Lone wolves just it doesn't work. It does not work. It might work for, like I said, might work for a week, might work for a few weeks, but when supplies start running out and the pillagers and the bandits and the people that weren't prepared, when they outnumber the lone wolf, and he's got this 100-pound backpack of supplies and going from house to house. There's 20 guys surrounding his house, and you make a noise the wrong way and they hear it. Like, you can't think you're going to battle your way out of that. I don't know. There's a lot of things to cover in the prepping, but the rules of three, and I guess lone wolves will be this one. Lone wolves can't. It's just not. It's not real. It's not a real expectation. It's fairy tale. It's made up bullshit you see on the movies, Mad Max, Book of Eli. You need a group of people to have your back, people that know how to do things. You learn these things as you go on, and I might gain followers or lose followers because of my stance on a lot of it, and I honestly don't care because facts are facts. They're not. I don't give a shit about your feelings. I give a shit about if society was to collapse or we was to be attacked. You need people to have your back. It's not going to be one person versus the world. You could be the absolute best marksman. You can be the absolute best at a lot of things, but if you're by yourself and you have nobody, you're not going to make it. That's just my opinion. Might hurt some feelings with that, but like I said, I don't care. It's relatively simple. You have to sleep sometime, and you can't sleep with one eye open. You can't watch your back at all times and your front. It just doesn't happen. That's why it has to be a group, and that's why there's going to be so many bad people out there that wasn't ready. It's going to take a group against a group because the bad people eventually are going to find the good people and they are going to try to take advantage of them. So you're going to have a group of good people to say, no, this ain't happening. And maybe that lone wolf joins up with the good, or maybe he ends up joining up with the bad, or maybe that lone wolf just don't make it to the battlefield at all because he broke his leg and it got ripped open and he didn't have medical supplies or medical attention and went to sleep and died of sepsis. There's too many scenarios. Or he fell asleep and some band of bad people seen that he was asleep against a tree or whatever, decided they wanted his stuff worse than that, and he was an easy target. The end. There it is. You have my opinion on the rules of three, the importance of the rules of three, how to start doing the rules of three cheaply so that you can survive, and that lone wolves won't make it in a total societal collapse, in my opinion. If you enjoy my content, I'll leave a link in the description where you can support my channel. You can slide over to Dubby and get you one of their 15 flavors with over 20,000 5-star reviews. Just put in Matt's Opinion as a coupon code and save 10%. For Matt's Opinion, I'm out.